Hi, Simon. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Linda. Sorry, I was doing things on the computer. Where are we? Okay.
Was it you, Simon, volunteering to be Harkmaster?
Only if it's available. I mean,
Well, I think the meeting's going to be far too long, Simon, because we've got the elections and then we've got 4 speakers, 4 evaluations.
yeah.
I suggested, Hanuj, we don't bother with grammarian.
I'm happy with that.
I want to get to bed. I want to get to bed before 11.
No, I just thought because it wasn't on the. I just thought,
Yeah.
well, I'll put my hand up.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I'm the Toastmaster, so I'm
Not at all.
hoping to get through it before it's too late. I wilt early.
No. I'll have some tea ready down now, some coffee.
Hi guys.
Hi, Sumit.
Hi, Sumit.
Was it good?
That's better. Better volume. Right. Speeches.
Hi, Tanuj.
Hi Tanuj.
Hey Sumit.
Hi.
Hey Linda. Hey Simon.
Hi.
Hi, Tanush.
How you guys doing?
All right.
Are you guys witnessing some sort of crackling sound here? Let me see if I.
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Shall I mute and see if it's me?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Super. Great. Whew. Wow. It feels like Friday already, but it's just Wednesday.
Yeah. Could not imagine how did this May went by.
Oh yeah. I think I'm still stuck in February too. So.
Hi, Rupa.
Hey guys, good to see you all.
Likewise. It's such a
Hi,
privilege to
Rupa.
have Rupa in the meeting because
I wouldn't go that far, but you know, you have to be here for election night for sure, right?
yes, absolutely.
And unless I can twist Amit's arm, I'm at the next meeting as well. So there we are.
Brilliant. So how did maybe you can talk about it officially if you want to, because I wasn't there day before. How did the high five meeting go?
low numbers, so slightly disappointed by the turnout for a launch meeting. But I think if we do the appropriate follow-up, we've got between 3 and 5 people ready to go, right? So I'm hoping for double the amount of people showing up next week, and so on and so forth, right? Yeah.
So remind me again, are we doing this weekly?
Yeah. So because it's only an hour, it's kind of impossible for a club to get through pathways if you're doing an hour meeting twice a month, right?
Okay.
And also to build up the momentum. So certainly weekly to start off with, and then once the committee's formed, it's up to them what they want to do with the club, right? So yeah, anybody in West London that needs a lunchtime club, let's rock and roll.
Yeah. We'll start the advertising. I'm gonna sit with Cam and/or the new VPPR to discuss that. So yeah, we'll definitely launch those campaigns. I'm loving the kind of symmetry in your backdrop, Linda. It is a real
yes.
bookshelf, right?
I tried to rearrange it. It's a very small room with a lot of stuff.
Nice. It's looking good.
Well, I
Especially
try
those
to keep it
floral
tidy.
boxes in the middle.
And I am not the hoarder in the house.
Okay. How are things with Simon? Any updates with your role? Not yet? Okay. So you're on mute, Simon.
Yeah, as I said to you before, I'm just totally conflicted. Totally conflicted. Parts of me wants to say yes, but I don't think I'm ready.
Mm.
And
I'm not talking about the committee roles, by the way.
oh, sorry, that's okay. That's all right. That's fine. Bizarrely, I my old boss, whom I used to work for, rang me up today to do a locum for him. So that's
Okay.
nice.
True.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruth.
Hi.
Ruth.
Do you have a copy of the agenda?
Did you not? Sorry, I thought I forwarded it on to you on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
One
I'll
second,
just
let
check
me
and
send
I'll
it to you.
send it to my email. Thanks.
For some bizarre reason, the detailed agenda today is not showing the detail. So the piece of information that's missing there, Ruth, for your awareness,
Okay.
is there is a 15-minute segment for the elections at the top of the meeting. So
Oh, okay.
straight after the president's opening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Ruth, you're the timekeeper, that's right?
Yeah, when I've printed off the agenda, so I'm going to forward it to my email and then try and print it. I'll do it that way because I'll be using my mobile for timing. Right.
And Simon, so Linda, I'm not sure if you picked that up on the WhatsApp group. So
About
Simon
the
is happy to be the
Harkmaster.
Harkmaster for tonight.
Yes, Linda's told me. Yeah, so I'm quite happy not to do it. Yeah.
I want to get to bed by 11. I've got no stamina.
We'll try to make the elections very, very swift, Linda. So don't worry.
Well, I'll try to move sharply through the evening as well.
So as per Easy Speak, we might be kind of playing hooky with the quorum, but let's see. So Easy Speak says 14 of 27. So if any of those 14 drops out, or if anyone from the remaining 13 shows up, we'll have to see.
Let's see if I've got that email.
Is there a bit of a lag anybody's witnessing? Yeah, just a second. Let me see if my internet connection. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Reena.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, we're good. Thank you. Are you in
How's
lovely
everyone?
Moldova right now?
Not yet, not yet.
Not
Coming.
yet. Okay.
On the way.
Okay. I hope not literally on the way.
Hi.
Not yet.
Okay. Annette.
Hi.
Hiya. Annette, do you want to quickly test out your screen share now? And
Yes.
okay. So I'm gonna make you as the host, so you can
Okay.
try bringing your screen up. Of course, up to you how much you wanna share from your presentation now.
Yeah. So can you see that?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is that probably depends on, because when I share the slide, then that will be like the main screen, right? So my I guess, and I,
So
the people cannot see me.
So people can see you in the inset if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Let me take the control back.
Okay.
1 second. Hi, Taye.
Hi.
Good evening, Tanuj. Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Thank you. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day, or you had a wonderful day at work.
Yes, it was lovely and sunny out today. So absolutely agree with you on that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, they're the Bain sisters. Hello.
So
So I'm trying to, 1 second. I'm trying to take the control back. And for some reason, I've forgotten where the take back the host option is. Rupa, do you remember where is take back host on Zoom?
Yeah, it should allow you to.
Oh,
do
it should come up in the, yeah, I think I got that. So I need to reclaim host. Yeah, sorry.
Wondering, other technical thing, can Sharon and Cam both vote? Have you got different devices with you?
That's a really good point. Sharon's going to log on to a different device as she'll get the poll.
Awesome.
It's nice to see you together, though. It gives you a sense
No,
of.
it's not a chance for me to get rid of her. I see too much of her. Living with her. I'm only joking. She's gone to get it.
So I'm going to take a moment to quickly get all the polls updated as well.
Flora and Cam, you didn't tell us the dress code.
I've just noticed.
Yeah, well coordinated.
I was wondering if it was the same dress. So
I think, Flora, you've got great taste.
yes, absolutely.
Hi, David.
Hello.
Hi, David.
Hi, Ruth.
Hi.
Hey, David. And the last speakers.
Tanuj, I have a question.
Yes, please.
You messaged me earlier and asked me to be Cam's evaluator, but Cam said according to the agenda and the table topics.
Sorry, yes, there was a bit of a switcheroo there. So
Okay.
sorry about that. And
No
I
worries.
thought
Just as long as I know which one I'm evaluating.
Because I think before I could sneak you in, Irina caught that gap and she booked herself as the evaluator. So I thought I'll let that stay. And
Cool.
yeah, so thank you so much for your understanding.
No problem.
Okay, Simon, I think we can start. I'm just quickly gonna make a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, so that's 12. So we don't have quorum yet. I have word from few people who would drop in, at least for the duration of the elections. But maybe we can start and wait for another 5 to 10 minutes and see. All right, Simon, over to you, sir.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Toastmasters this very important night, which is potentially going to be electioneering night. So get your votes out and whoever gets the position, good luck. Usual housekeeping rules as we're all members of this club. Microphones on mute when people are speaking to prevent feedback. If you don't want to be video recorded, please let Tanush know because this will form part of a private screening on YouTube, our own channel, I believe. And finally, and last of all, I can't remember what I was going to say, so I'll ignore what I'm going to say and pass you straight on to our president, Tanuj Saluja.
Thank you, Simon. Good evening, Trojans. I think we are a select few elite members here at the moment, so feel yourself privileged because you are in good company, committed members of Trojans. Obviously, you all know what's the relevance of tonight. We are gonna be selecting the next year's committee club officers. If we have the quorum, I would probably look up to the sage advice of some of the senior organization members here to tell us if there's anything we need to do if we don't get quorum. I suspect it will be pushed to the next meeting. But beyond that, we are still looking for nominations for a few roles. The roles for which we have not received any nominations would be revealed by David when he runs the elections part. But if you're keen and you want to steer the club, this is the moment. I cannot tell you how much of a privilege it has been for me to be part of the committee for the last few years and how much I have learned from it. I would not trade that experience for anything because it's been an absolutely enjoyable experience. And it was tipped to me and it was a fabulous idea. I would probably go off piste the agenda for a bit and maybe allow some of our senior members here to talk about the importance and the relevance of certain roles like the president, the sergeant at arms, the treasurer. These are the roles for which we don't have any nominations yet. Maybe I'll ask our immediate past president, Rupa, to share what were her learnings from being a president of the club. And I'm also trying to buy some time to see if more people drop in. So.
Okay, I'm happy to go first. Hi, everyone. I think I know everyone apart from maybe Tay. But good to see you all again. So I'll go back a step if I may, Tanush. And a few of us actually joined the committee quite soon after joining Trojans. And I think sometimes there's a misconception that you have to have been a Toastmaster for a long time before you step up to the committee and so on and so forth. I think it's just important to say that our club can't run unless there's people looking after it, and we've all got a part to play. Some people have contributed lots over the years, some people have contributed some sporadic moments of time, and yeah, if people burn out, if other people don't step up, right? But yeah, being president, I joke about this, but I ended up with a better wardrobe right at the end of the year compared with when I started. That's not my biggest learning, of course, but it's yeah, it was great to build a team and run a team. And yes, there was conflict during the year, but you learn and grow as a result. And I probably said yes to too many things in Toastmasters. And you know, last week I was elected to my next role in Toastmasters. After joining five years ago. So if you say yes, things can happen, but it's okay to say no sometimes too. But please step up and run our club, look after our club, right, and keep it going.
Thank you, Rupa. Since we are still waiting for quorum to appear or to happen, I would move on to maybe Ruth to shed some light on what has been her greatest learning by being part of committee and being a club officer. I think on multiple occasions now with Riverside.
Can someone time me 2 minutes? Just so I don't go over. Okay, so welcome everybody. So I'm the area director for D29. I was president of Riverside Communicators before that role, and I've held a few other roles too. What did I learn as club president? Basically, you learn how to run a club. You learn how to chair a committee. You get a big picture view of an organization, because what I found is when you're doing the VPE or VPM, you're kind of it's very much detailed in one specific area of the club. The club president role gives you a big picture overview of the whole club. And it gives you the luxury of being one step removed from everybody else. So if two members of your team are having a conflict and they're finding something difficult or challenging, just by the fact that you are one step removed, you have some wisdom that you can share and help solve the situation. What else did I learn? I learned about what I love. I learned about what lights me up. I learned that I love facilitating groups and inspiring other people, fostering growth. You see talent in people and you plant seeds and you say, have you thought about the VPE role? And very often people will go, oh no, not me. But then a year later, those same people are stepping up to do that very role, and they do an absolutely phenomenal job. So it's empowering. It teaches you what you love. Some roles you don't like them as much. Other roles are amazing. It's experiential learning. You don't know how to do it until you do it. My very first committee meeting, I hadn't got a clue what I was doing.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you, David.
You can carry on for 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. So you learn in the doing. I turned up at my first committee meeting. I had a blank agenda and I said, okay, tell me what you understand about your role. But I had the objective of planning the next 3 months in meetings, which we did. And then by the end of the year, I knew exactly what I was doing. And we were leading the team and it was an amazing year. So step up, give it a go. Even if you're a new member, do you know what? Take one positive step. Because if you make a choice tonight and you say, I'm going to be a club president next year, no matter what happens in your life, that choice will be a positive one. I promise you, it will enrich your life like no other experience you've ever had. And it's only for 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. I'm going to now direct our attention to David. David, would you like to share your experience as president for our club?
Yes, and I have to start by rebutting Ruth's last point because I broke the rules and was the president for 2 years. But that was the exception that proves the rule. I thoroughly enjoyed my time as president of the club for a lot of reasons. I got to lead a great team of people. I got to see people develop. I got to see people learn and develop new skills and grow into their roles. And for me, a large amount of it was kind of mentoring and guiding people and helping them, bringing them along. And I also loved the fact that and of course this was back in pre-COVID days, but I loved the fact that at the end of each meeting, I got to hand out the ribbons to the people who won the different awards. And to me, that was one of the most satisfying things was to see people in the club, you know, coming along and doing so well. And I, you know, I look back at some of the members of our committee that are on board but outgoing. Like I mean, I immediately think of Dill, and I remember when Dill first joined the club, and she was this sort of shuddering, terrified little thing, and then she came in and developed and took on her role and now speaks confidently. I remember Melody, again the same thing, and you know, Melody came in and she'd had some tough things happen in her life, and she talked to us about them in her speech and opened up. And I remember her icebreaker was phenomenal, and in fact, one of the things as president that I liked the most was when the icebreaker speech won the best speech. Oh, I've got the time clock up now officially. So yeah, well, of course that's only a minute, so I'm still good to go for another minute. I found it thoroughly enjoyable. When I joined the club, which was like 2 weeks after Rupa joined, and I volunteered on the night of elections to be the treasurer because there was nobody else there, and because I'm an accountant, so I thought, okay, well, I can do that. Oh, here comes yellow. And I carried on and did that role for 18 months, and then I moved into the VPE role for 6 months. And then I had the pleasure of following Rupa as president, and had to do it twice because I didn't quite achieve the president's distinguished first time around, but I wasn't going to hand over the club without president's distinguished. So I stuck around for another year and made sure we got it, and then handed over to Tanuj. But yeah, no, they were 2 wonderful years, and I'm now in the red and about to get buzzed off the stage. So I'll stop and hand back to our president, Tanuj.
Thank you, David. And if I could maybe summarize, if at all, because all of you shared really valuable pointers about what your experience has been. My experience of working with everybody in the team has been fabulous. I have, of course, working as a VP, got an opportunity to work with everybody on their progression on then education program. But as a president, I was thrown in a very different setting, and you all know about the various other things that have happened. But important thing is that it has made me grow immensely. I definitely don't want those misfortunate things to happen to the next president, but at the same time, I can assure you that there would be challenges that will come on the way, but you would learn so much from it, and it will be a very, very good learning experience. I have a hunch now that I think we waited plenty. I'm gonna say that let's progress with the speeches for tonight. If at all there are people who join in, we'll take stock after the speeches are done, and then bring in the elections component. All right, so let's welcome our Toastmaster for the evening, the lovely Linda White. Please welcome Linda White.
Thank you, Tanuj. Thank you for your lovely use of alliteration. I'm glad my name begins with the same letter as lovely rather than something else. It's really great to see you all here, all 13 of you, just one short of the quorum, but it's good to see you. And it was fabulous to hear those testimonials from Tanuj, from Rupa, from Ruth, from David. I don't have to do anything to say it's the right thing to be here this evening. They were so passionate and convincing. If we needed to know we were in the right place, they all told us that. Toastmasters is, as Ruth said, empowering, inspirational, amazing, experiential, generally a fabulous place to learn a whole range of different skills. It's all those things. Now we're going to see those skills in action. We're going to start it like a regular meeting. We've had a bit of a strange start, but I think a good start. And we're going to move into the situation as though it was a normal meeting. We are all Toastmasters. There's no guests here to explain the rules to or tell them what a table topic is. So we can jump straight in. And the first role I want to introduce, the important person, we've already met her, but she's going to make sure we stick to time. And we have already seen that she's very good at that and quite strict. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to explain the timekeeper role, Ruth Ribeiro.
Thank you very much, Linda. So I'm going to be your timekeeper this evening. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way with a green and a yellow and a red card. They will indicate the timings on the agenda. So with a prepared speech, there is a minimum, a medium and a maximum time. So the green light will be shown at 5 minutes. So, sorry, the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes and the red card at 7 minutes. When you see the red card, you will have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. And if you haven't finished on time, I will find something that rattles a little bit more, perhaps like that. That's not doing very well, but anyway, I will make some kind of sound like a bell or a tap of a cup, and you will wrap up your speech within 30 seconds. Sorry. So that's me for this evening. I now hand you back to Linda White, your Toastmaster. Thank you, or Toastmistress.
Thank you, Ruth. And I'm glad you're using good old-fashioned methods. You won't be at risk of technology letting you down when you've got your coloured paper. This evening we have 4 prepared speeches, and they are all level 1, speech 2 in pathways. They're all on different pathways, so we'll experience that. And our very first speaker will be Flora. Flora's evaluator is Tanuj. So before I invite Flora to speak, I'd like to invite Tanuj to tell us the objectives of Flora's speech. Tanuj.
Thank you, Linda. So Flora is, I'm just going to bring up my notes here. So Flora is doing her speech number 2 from Dynamic Leadership Pathways module. And the things I'm going to be looking out for would be some of the things that Flora has asked me to look out for. But I would like her to utilize her skills on the key areas that she has already showcased in the speech number 1. Since this is a dynamic leadership module, I would like to see more hand gestures and more effective usage of body language. So I just want to watch out for these key signals in her speech. But overall, I'm sure she's going to bring a lot of great variety to the speech. And I think, Linda, I'm going to hand it back to you for you to announce the speech title and welcome Flora. So thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. Flora's speech title is Trying Something New. And it's about the challenges of trying something new based on Flora's experiences in the past year. And of course, in the past year, with everything that's happened, we've all had to try things that were new to us and do different things. So it's very relevant, and I'm really looking forward to hearing it. So the speech is Trying Something New. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Flora Ruffin.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Have you ever wanted to try something new and then shied away at the last minute with that knot in the stomach and that whispering voice telling you to drop it and questioning what you are going to do? Ladies and gentlemen, stepping out of a comfort zone or trying something new can be very scary and challenging. And tonight I want to share one experience that I've recently had talk about my emotion that went through, and then explaining my top tip of what I've learned. So I've experienced all of that symptom of doubt and nervousness when I try for the first time online speed dating. I've been trying to meet someone, and in the pandemic restriction, it has been difficult, as you can imagine. I got tired of online dating apps when you spend all of your day in front of a computer, and then in the evening you're as well on a computer. So when I read about online speed dating, it felt really appealing. In the comfort of your own living room, you can meet Prince Charming or meet new people. Felt very excited, and I registered for an event. Time passed, I don't really think about it, and then come the day. In the morning, I start thinking, what am I gonna say? And who am I gonna meet in those meetings? So in hindsight, I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. But then the day goes on, and I don't think about it. And then in the evening, get ready, make up a bit, check the setting and the light, and join the Zoom meeting. And I'm early, so it hasn't started. And then out of nowhere, I got that knot in the stomach. I got a heart rate pounding, and I got that little voice that is telling me, what are you doing? And you shouldn't really be doing that. You had a tiring day. You should really just, go and watch TV. What are you going to say? Maybe you will not be able to answer the question. So I start to get very, very nervous for, in inside, no reason. But my emotion just took over. The meeting started, so I try to follow. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a nice experience. Everything went well. I met actually nice people. It was funny. It was a great night, and it actually only lasts an hour. So you meet different men, but it's go very, very quickly. You only speak 5 to 8 minutes. I didn't run out of conversation. So at the end of this session, I got very excited, and I got very proud of myself to have actually stepped out of my comfort zone and overcome, those emotions that came up. I felt like I had accomplished, and I was closer to my goal. Then thinking about it a few days after, I did wonder what has happened. Why did I got all of those emotions, and how did I manage to overcome them? So in insight, it's normal to feel nervous and to have a symptom of that nervousness. The key thing is really to push ourselves and to do it. What worked in that example or in this experience is that I've rationalized. So as I was doubting myself, another part of my brain was telling me that I wouldn't be able to meet Prince Charming in my living room. I had actually to meet people. So I had to do it. Another top tip is also to look at, the over high level view. So for me, it's very motivating when I know, goal or what I want to achieve or what I'm trying to do, and look at the step. And if you don't start, then you're never gonna reach what you want to achieve. And then the third tip was to look at the worst case scenario. So what could really happen? And in that example, nothing really could happen. That is actually the great advantage of a Zoom meeting. If things are not working, you can just drop the meeting or leave the meeting and no one would have, know about me. So that was the 3 lessons learned. And in conclusion, what I want to leave you with is 3 thoughts from this experience. The first one is, if you're looking to meet someone, consider online speed dating. It's an easy way of meeting people and also practicing your table topic, because you just end up answering a lot of random questions. The second thing is it's normal to feel nervous when you try something new, but push yourself, just go past your boundary, and rationalize, look at the worst case scenario, and look at your overall objective, because that will help you just tipping over. And then the third thought is asking yourself, when is the last time that you tried something new? And if you haven't, I really recommend that you do something new tomorrow, because somehow you grow out of it and it helps you doing the next step of what you want to achieve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Flora, for helping us to think about trying something new. After the speeches, we have a minute on the clock for feedback. But before we start that clock ticking, I'd like to think about how we can give feedback. We can give feedback in the chat, do it privately to Flora or whoever's spoken, or we can go into pathways. Last time we had a meeting, we had a bit of a lesson on going to pathways and giving people feedback there. So have your choice. I shall ask the timekeeper, Ruth, to give us a minute on the clock for feedback for Flora. Thank you, Ruth. Our second speaker this evening is Cam Baines, and the evaluator for Cam's speech is Rupa. So first of all, I'd like to ask Rupa to tell us about the objectives for Cam's speech. Ladies and gentlemen, over to Rupa.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So Cam is also doing level 1, the first speech of project number 2, from the presentation mastery pathway. She's asked me specifically just to give her general feedback today, as it is quite a generalist speech. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rupa. So this speech is in the presentation mastery pathway, and again, it's the second speech at the first level, and Cam's subject is a subject matter expert. I am intrigued as to what the subject is. So let's not wait. With a speech entitled A Subject Matter Expert, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cam Baines.
Thank you. Just to check you can hear me. Great. Okay. So tonight I'm going to talk about a subject that I am an expert in. And most people find this subject fascinating because it's something that they will never ever experience. You either are this thing or you are not. So, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Trojans, tonight I'm going to talk to you about being a twin. I am an expert in being a twin because I have been one since I was born. And over the years, people have asked me, what is it like being a twin? So I thought it'd be interesting to share some of my insights. And I'm going to explore 3 areas. Number 1, sharing. Number 2, emotions. And number 3, confusion. So let's start with sharing. The first thing you learn as a twin is the concept of sharing. Because my twin and I, we first started off as womb mates, then we were roommates, and now we're best mates. So sharing has become a way of life. And it's something I didn't even question until I got to primary school. I was talking to a friend in the playground, and she told me she had her own room. And I was just so jealous. I was like, oh my God, what would it feel like to have your own room? And I'm sure some of you have seen that Russell Peters sketch. But the sharing didn't stop there, because growing up, my mum insisted we wear the same dresses, we wear the same socks, we wear the same shoes, and she made us the same scrunchies. Can you imagine? We shared every single birthday except for 3. And the first year I couldn't celebrate with her. I think she was out of the country. She was on a course. And I cried because I didn't know what to do with myself. And the sharing continues today as adults. We talk or chat every single day. We talk about the good, we talk about the bad, we talk about the ugly. And if we fight, we've made up within the hour because we can't stay angry with each other for too long. That brings me to my second point, which is emotions. Now, growing up, we all go through a roller coaster of emotions. We go through different rites of passage. But I feel like your emotions are amplified when you're a twin. Let me give you an example. So all of you will remember taking exams at school and feeling those emotions of fear. You're praying that you pass, but put yourself in my shoes. Not only was I worried about myself, I was worried about my twin, because how am I going to celebrate if I pass and she fails, or she passes and I fail? There was so much pressure. So it was probably a blessing in disguise when we both failed our 11 plus, because we could cry together, but then we aced our GCSEs and we could celebrate together. That brings me to my third point, which is confusion. Now, part and parcel of being a twin is confusion, because people mix you up, they mess up your names, but the actions of my beautiful, well-intentioned parents took this to a new level, because they gave the honor of they gave an aunt and uncle the honor of naming us. And this aunt and uncle thought it would be cute to give us very similar names. So, my name is Kamaldip, or Kamaldeep. My twin's name is Kamaljit, or Kamaljit. So, and you know, these names have beautiful meanings, like Kamal means water lotus. It's beautiful, right? And then the dip means light. And Jit, my twin, it means winner. So beautiful names. But what they didn't foresee was going forward, our names would be shortened to Cam. So when we lived in the same household, this was a recipe for confusion. I remember when we both applied for our driving licenses. My twin got a letter back in the post from the DVLA. Sorry to inform you, but we've already issued you your license. And who can blame them? We had the same initials, we had the same date of birth, and we were living at the same address. We laugh about it now, but we know who our true friends are, because a true friend can put the right name to the right face. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you can agree that I am a subject matter expert in being a twin. And I've given you an insight into life as a twin. Sharing is a way of life. Emotions are amplified. And confusion is to be expected. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Cam. That was a surprise. Are you identical?
Non-identical, but we look very similar, like everything else.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's an insight that, well, only a small percentage of the population would have. So you're definitely a subject matter expert. Madam Timekeeper, can we have a minute on the clock for feedback for Cam, please? Thank you, Ruth. Our third speaker is Annette Trebell, and the evaluator for Annette's speech is Irina. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irina to tell us the objectives of Annette's speech. Irina.
Thank you. Annette's speech tonight is from the Pathway called Dynamic Leadership. And this is her second speech. Within her speech, she will be introducing the theoretic framework of personality types and how they communicate together. Linda?
Irina. So second speech in the Dynamic Leadership Pathway. It seems really time since the first one, so it does seem like a dynamic movement forward. The title of the speech is Personality, Color, and How It Impacts Communication Style. Somebody's...
Linda, I think there's some problem with the audio.
I think your voice is breaking up, Linda.
Jonah, try to mute and then unmute yourself, Linda.
How's that? Can you hear me?
You sound like you're at the bottom of a swimming pool.
But try stopping your camera. That may improve the bandwidth a bit.
No. No.
No, should I just, can you hear me okay? Should I just start? Okay. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Trojans. The title of my speech tonight is, what's your personality color and how does it impact your communication style? And you're probably wondering, what does color have to do with personality? And I come to that in a minute. But first, I wanted to imagine you two scenarios. First, you're talking to someone and the communication just seems to flow. And you find it very easy to agree on common goals or deliverables. On the other handful, sometimes you talk to someone and it just feels you're not on the same level and you have nothing in common and you find it very difficult to agree on actions. And while of course there can be so many reasons of why communication in some situations is more efficient than in others, there are good chances that your personality type and the way you communicate versus the one of your counterpart has a big impact on that. So tonight, I wanted to introduce you to the color insights theory, which is based on the work of the Swiss psychoanalyst and psychiatrist Carl Jung. He categorized personalities along two axes. The first axis is introversion versus extroversion. And this simply has to do with where people gain their energy from. With introverts, being more comfortable being by themselves and have time to think by themselves, versus the extroverts, they tend to thrive in a social and group setting. The second axis is the thinking versus the feeling. With the thinkers, of course, being quite analytical and tending to prefer insights and data and information, versus the feelers, they tend to be more emotional and prefer personal relationships and interaction. So according to those two axes, you have 4 different personality types, which you can see in this slide. The extroverted thinkers are the fiery red ones. Those tend to be the typical alpha personalities. They like to be in charge and lead teams. Red persons, they are not very good listeners and they tend to get quite impatient when people take too long to make a decision. The sunshine yellow persons are the extroverted feelers. Their motto is fun, fun, fun. And they usually are the center of attention at every party. Yellow persons, they tend to be perfect motivators and can be really great and inspirational for teams. So they don't really stick to processes that much. And also they find it difficult to follow things through because there's always a new exciting opportunity waiting for them. The earthy green ones are the introverted feelers. They value harmony over anything else. And they tend to be perfect collaborators and very inclusive, just because they want to make sure that everyone's point of view has been taken into consideration. Green persons usually don't like to be the center of attention or being criticized. And once they lose their trust in someone, it's almost impossible to gain that back. And finally, we've got the cool blue ones. Those are the introverted thinkers. They tend to be very detail-oriented and analytical. The cool blue persons, they prefer to gather all the information and data and insights before making a decision, even though that can take quite a long time. They are considered usually as more distant because they don't like to disclose information and they hate being rushed towards making a decision. So there's of course no color better than the other. And the chances are that in a high-performing team, you have all of those 4 personality types represented. Also, it's important to notice that as such, there's no black or white. A lot of people will find themselves along a spectrum or maybe even be a combination of colors. So why is this important? being mindful of your own personality type and the way you communicate has a big impact on how efficient your communication will be with your counterparts. To give you an example, imagine that you're a fiery red seller who wants to sell something to a cool blue client. So if you go in with your fiery red approach and your alpha type personality, you tend to be seen as quite pushy. So what are the chances of closing a deal with a cool blue client who wants to have all the details before making a decision? Almost zero. So for that reason, it's very important to adjust your communication style to the one of your counterpart, because that will help you to make your communication much more efficient. So usually you're more persuasive, or you're more convincing. Also, it helps you to establish a common team language, and helps to overcome conflicts or challenges. So tonight, I wanted to challenge you to consider if you're a cool blue, a fiery red, an earthy green, or a sunshine yellow. And think of what color types the persons in your personal or professional environment might be. That will help you to form better connections and make your communications more efficient. Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Annette. Moment of truth. Can you hear me now, or am I still down a well? Okay, that's great. Sorry, Annette, that I didn't give you a proper introduction.
No problem.
You had that bottom of the well introduction, but I enjoyed everything I heard of your speech. Really interested in the colors. Thank you. Our fourth speaker is Sumit Singh, and evaluating Sumit this evening is Nishtha. So I'd like to call upon Nishtha.
Sorry, one minute for judges.
1 minute for, thank you. I was so pleased that I could be heard. I was forgetting a silent bit. Yes, please. 1 minute on the clock for feedback for Annette. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Ruth. So our fourth speaker is Sumit, and the evaluator for Sumit's speech is Nish. So I'd like to call upon Nish to tell us the objectives of Sumit's speech. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nish.
Thank you, Linda. Can everyone hear me? Great. Sumit is here to give his first speech, evaluations and feedback from the path called Strategic Relationships. The objective of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Before the speech, Sumit and I had a chat, and he would like me to watch out for his body language and his vocal variety. With that, let's please welcome Sumit with speech entitled Lords of the Nods. Sorry, Linda, I did your job.
Okay. it's
Lords
all
of the
right.
Nods.
Friends, Toastmasters, and Madam Toastmaster. Today, I want to share with you a topic which is very close to my heart and my head. Now, some of you in the past have mistaken me for a blue-blooded British, probably due to my native accent or my looks. Now, to those of you, I would like to inform that I am from India. And since I've lived in India for so many years, I have a unique perspective of the languages and the gestures that we use within India. And I share that unique perspective along with 1.4 billion other compatriots. Now, languages are so many and very difficult to show within this Toastmaster speech. I would like to show 3 Indian gestures which we use across India, across same way, but they're used very different, but they're interpreted very differently outside. Now, first and foremost, let me tackle the elephant in the room. Got it? It's an Indian head nod. When an Indian is doing a head nod, they are not saying no. No, they are absolutely agreeing with you. It is a unanimous yes. They agree with you 100%. I'm reminded of a time when I was in a class and a French professor was explaining to 160 of us his groundbreaking financial theories. And he was moving passionately from side to side, from one part of the class to another. And suddenly he stopped in front of me and started staring towards me as if I've committed a grave crime against humanity. He said, you don't tend to agree with me. You think you can do a better job than me? I was completely stunned. I said, I've not said a word about it. But then he realized, he said, okay, but you are an Indian. So if your head is saying no, you mean yes. So you do agree with me. And then he apologized. After that, I was thoroughly embarrassed because I could not say anything in my defense. What gave me a bit of comfort was there was 1/6 of humanity who was like me and was standing in solidarity with me and with my head nods. So Indians are the lords of the nods from that respect. We sometimes use our nods to confuse people when we are not able to convince them. Going on to the second gesture. Anything related to when, how come, where. It can all be condensed into this. I call it twist the light bulb and shake. Now, when an Indian does this to you, you have to just say who you are, what are you doing here, where are you going, how have you been, and anything which comes to your mind, because it's a very open-ended thing and it's a very common thing to do. It saves the weather talk for 5 minutes and you're talking about something more personal back then. So if I'm with my friends and I come a bit late, if I come a bit late to home and my wife does this to me, I have to just tell her, where have I gone, who was with me, why I did not call her back, and why I would never do that again. Coming on to the third gesture, Now, this can be a bit more tricky in certain cultures. This gesture is a pinky finger. Now, I'm told in Japan, if you show a pinky finger to a woman, it means she's a mistress of another man. In UK and in Mediterranean countries, if you show this pinky finger to a man, it is showing him the size of his manhood. Now, Indians use it very innocently to show that they want to go for a pee. And this is a unisex symbol. So anyone can do it. We have to come up with something which was very quick. Now, thumb was taken for being an okay sign. Index finger is more for pointing. And middle finger I would not go because that's universal. Now, ring finger can be quite tricky and time consuming when the matters are a bit urgent. So that leaves us with a pinky finger. So probably that was the reason why most of the Indians tend to use this symbol when they want to pee. So to conclude, friends, if somebody is doing this to you and he's an Indian, take my word for it, he agrees with you. And if you go in India and somebody does this, you can tell him whatever is coming to your mind. And that should be absolutely fine, as far as you're not insulting each other. And finally, when Indian tends to show this, he's not insulting you. Please show him the nearest restroom because he really wants to go somewhere. Madam Toastmaster, I need to leave now.
Thank you, Sumit. I'm sure that's going to be very useful to us all to master certain points of etiquette. I'm just practicing. I'm not sure my hands are flexible enough. Madam Timekeeper, can we have a minute on the clock, please, for feedback for Sumit? Thank you, Ruth, and thank you to our 4 speakers. Really enjoyed it all. Thank you all for such varied and interesting speeches this evening. You're going to get your evaluations in due course. You're going to get those after the break. So evaluators have a bit more time than usual to get it all together. And next up, we are going to have our elections because we're delighted to say we've got the requisite number of people. So without further ado, I am going to hand over to the man who's going to run the elections, David Horn. Please welcome David Horn.
Thank you very much, Linda, and good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for the last of you who came on and made us quorum it so it can actually officially happen now. So this is the time where we elect the officials to run the club for the next 12-month period, commencing on the 1st of June and 1st of July and running until the 30th of June 2022. Wow. And So what I'd like to do is just go through. I know we have a number of people who have put their names forward for certain roles. We also have a number of roles where at the moment we're not aware of anyone who has put themselves forward, but perhaps someone will be brave and step forward on the evening to take up the role for the club. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 roles to discuss, which are the president, the vice president of education, the vice president of membership, the vice president of PR, the secretary, the treasurer, and the sergeant at arms. Everyone, I believe, has seen the various descriptions in the club's WhatsApp group and on the other communications that have come out from Tanuj. So what I would like to do is ask Tanuj, and I think we'll start for a change. Let's start with the sergeant at arms role. And Tanuj, I'd like you to just let us know if anyone has put their name forward for that role. And if not, then we will open the floor for anyone who would like to stand.
So far, David, nobody has come forward for that role for the new year.
Okay. Simon, would you mind just giving everybody a quick intro as the current incumbent sergeant at arms, what the role involves?
Well, I've got no experience of the actual physical meetings, but as regards the Zoom meetings, it's basically just introducing the members and audience to the evening's meeting and just advising them of the housekeeping rules of the event. So effectively things about the microphone, video, and just reminding people to enjoy refreshments during the break. Obviously things are different at the physical meeting, but as I've said, because I have no experience of it, I cannot comment. But I also do sit in on committee meetings, which are quite good because not having a proper role as such, I'm able to interject across the board and make my comments and feelings known. And they do actually sometimes carry weight. But that's really all I can say about the role of Sergeant at Arms. It's fun. It's fun.
Good. Thank you, Simon. Brilliant. So the role of Sergeant at Arms is going to become vacant on the 1st of July. Is there anyone in the meeting who would like to put themselves forward to be a candidate for the position of Sergeant at Arms? Hey, Tay, well done. Welcome aboard. Is there anyone else who would like to put themselves forward? Or otherwise, we shall announce Tay as our new Sergeant at Arms. In true auctioneer style, going once, going twice, going 3 times. And Tay, you have been duly elected as Sergeant at Arms. Well done, thank you. Okay, the next role, and this was the first role that I had at the club, which was as treasurer of the business or of the club. And it's the role where you're looking after the money. Twice a year, it gets quite busy at renewal seasons. And for the rest of the year, it's relatively quiet. But it does require somebody who has a bit of confidence in dealing with numbers and banking and things like that. But it's not a overly burdensome role. And it's a very important one for the club. So I believe, Tanuj, we don't currently have anyone standing. So Carmen will be the treasurer until the end of June. Is there anyone who feels brave enough to put themselves forward to be the treasurer of Trojans? Okay. I shall do my Breakfast Club movie scene where there's that teacher going, anyone? 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 Okay, so we have a vacancy in the role of the treasurer that we will need to fill. I believe Carmen has indicated she'll carry on until we fill it, but won't be standing for the role next year. Okay, fine. Moving on then to the role of secretary of the club. Tanuj, do we have someone who has put themselves forward?
Yes.
And who would that be?
So Flora has very kindly agreed to put her name forward as secretary. And I'll hand it back to you.
Okay, Sophia. Is Sophia here tonight?
Sorry, I said Flora.
I thought you said Sophia. Excuse me.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry. No, my
Flora.
bad.
My bad. Apologies, Flora. So thank you very much, Flora, for standing. Is there anyone else who would like to be considered for the role of secretary of the club? Going once, going twice, 3 times. And Flora, you are duly elected as the new secretary of Trojan Speakers. Thank you very much. Right, moving on to the vice president of PR. And Tanuj, I believe we do have someone standing for that role.
Yes, so we would have Nishtha's expertise available, and she has put her name forward for that role.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nish. And is there anyone else who would like to stand for that position? No. So going once, going twice, and 3 times. I should have been an auctioneer. Nishtha, you are duly elected as the vice president of PR. Well done. Okay, then the vice president of membership. Unfortunately, Dil is leaving us as our outgoing VPM. And thank you, Dil, for your diligent service to us this year. But we do have a candidate for the VPM role, do we not, Tanuj?
Yes, we do. And I'm not going to show my finger to indicate who it is because it is Sumit.
Actually, with Sumit, it's So would anyone else like to stand for the role of vice president of membership? Otherwise, it will be Sumit. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. And Sumit, you are duly elected to the role of VPM. Thank you. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but there we are. Right, then to the role of Vice President of Education. And again, our incumbent VPE, Amit, is moving on to launching a new club, so he's unable to carry on with us. And Tanuj, I believe we have someone who is willing to stand for the role of VPE.
Yes, and that's Momo.
Great.
I think she's
Momo, can we ask you to just turn your camera on so we can see you just for the purposes of the election? Momo, if you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, could you, yeah, there we go.
Can you see me?
We can see you. We can't elect you if we can't see you. Wonderful, thank you very much. And would anyone else like to stand for the role of VPE? Nope. Going once and twice and 3 times. And Momo, you are duly elected. Congratulations. So we still have a vacancy at the treasurer level. We have filled our sergeant at arms. We have filled our secretary. We have filled our vice president of PR. We have filled our vice president of membership, and we have filled our vice president of education. The final role for this evening, and perhaps someone will be interested in stepping forward. We were actually talking about this in the early part of the meeting, where Rupa was talking about her experience as president, and I was talking about mine, and Ruth was talking about hers, and Tanuj was talking about his. Not everyone was here, but is there anyone this evening who would be interested in stepping forward and taking on the role as president of Trojan Speakers? for the 2021-22 year. Don't all rush forward. Okay, so I believe that one is going to remain vacant. And Tanuj, I know you have said you will play the caretaker whilst we find and secure a new president for the club. So the role of president will be held by Tanuj on a caretaker basis. Rupa, I don't know if there's anything constitutionally that we need to sort out. I guess we've got until the end of June.
Yeah, we got until the end of June to try and get someone else to step up, because technically it's not allowed, but we'll have to get special approval if that happened.
Right.
So hopefully it doesn't, right?
Okay, super. So, but our other roles are confirmed. So Momo is the VPE, Sumit is the VPM, Nishtha is the VPPR, Flora is the secretary. There's a vacancy for the role of treasurer, and Ty is our Sergeant at Arms. Very well done, and welcome to the new incoming committee members. And yeah, have a wonderful time. And I look forward to next year just being an ordinary member of the club. It's been an honor to serve this club over so many years, and I look forward to continuing my membership and staying in touch with all of you. I really enjoy our times together, but yeah, it's time to hand over the reins and let Tanuj step into the role of immediate past president. And we just need to find a president and find a treasurer, which we'll sort out. Thank you very much, everybody. That brings to an end the elections, and I will hand back to our Toastmaster of the evening, Linda.
Thank you, David. Thank you for a job very well done. Thank you for everybody who's put themselves forward. Good luck. Well done, and good luck next year. And thanks to everybody who's officers in the existing year. Everybody's done a fantastic job to keep our club so vibrant and such a fabulous place to come on a Wednesday evening. It's now time for a break. After the break, we will have the evaluations for the prepared speeches, and we will also have table topics run this evening by Taiwei. So he is the man to contact if you have an urge to do a table topic this evening. It's now 20:43 by my computer, so let us resume at 20:55. So that gives us 12 minutes to grab a drink, do whatever we need to do. See you at 20:55. Bye-bye.
Hey, congratulations, everyone. New team.
Wow. Thank you, Simon. I hope I will be able to thank you for your offer to help me into the new role. I'm going to be contacting you privately to really put me through on the new role.
Yeah.
Then I would be needing your guidance as well.
Thank you.
So for Tai and Sumit, I mean, we would have proper transition agreed, and we'll of course ensure that you are connected with the respective team member. So yeah, absolutely. So I think if I may quickly say that I completely stand by what Simon said about the role. Obviously, in the online setup, it's very different. But there are a lot of other experiences that you may not have seen what comes about in the physical setup. But if I were to summarize or kind of squeeze the whole role into 2 words, I would say that you'd be the logistics manager for the club. So everything related to ensuring things are done properly to have a successful meeting, we would look up to your guidance for that. And Simon has led our way very well in these strange online setups. Of course, it's slightly different. And to Sumit, I think you've probably seen this role play out from the sidelines. So you know what is probably expected from the member side. But as you know, you are the kind of gatekeeper for our club. So you would be kind of wooing the new people who walk in and ensure that they get your pizzazz, and we win them over every time. And Dill has been doing that fabulously. So we've not had, I think, by far one of the most successful years in terms of the conversion from guests to members. So absolutely good role to be part of. So cool. Let's take a quick comfort break. If anybody wants to say anything, I just read.
How are you
Hey.
guys?
We're good. You're good.
Good? All well?
Yes. How are things with you? Everybody
Going on
okay at
good.
home?
Sorry?
Everybody good at home?
Everyone good at home, yeah. Worrying times, right?
Yes, absolutely.
How's things at your place in India?
It's tricky. We had one relative pass away today. One of my very close friends is in ICU right now. So it's bizarre.
And quite a few of my family members have been affected as well, and my uncle had passed away.
Yeah.
But it seems like this thing is going to hit UK as well at some point of time. By the looks of it.
I think there was a phrase that was going around, right? That nobody's safe until everyone's safe. So it's that kind of thing, and people are getting infected even after the 2 shots. So there is no real guarantees.
And this variant is like 60% more dangerous than the previous one, like the Kent virus, Kent variant.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So that would be another one of those decisions that the new team would have to make. And I'm kind of feeling relieved now that at least I didn't have to take that call when to move back to the physical meetings. So you guys are now the flag bearers, and you need to really do that or take that judgment call. What are the benefits of doing the physical meetings at what time? FYI, the church has been contacting us for many months now because it's one of their revenue streams as well. So, and they've kept that place for us for a long time. So we need to take that call sometime. Since there are a few people here who came in, Cam's not here, right? So this is when Cam started in her role last year. I was just trying to figure out, I was trying to find Cam's pictures for the Trojans website actually. And talking about Cam's twin, I found this person, and I've just pinged the LinkedIn link of another Cam Baines. So there is a triplet, fortunately, and hopefully this lady doesn't get spooked with so many strangers showing up on her LinkedIn profile. But she looks, her then picture looked exactly like Cam. So I did tease her that, her parents didn't tell her about their third sister. So it's funny, of course, they're not related. So.
Anish,
hey,
do we have a picture of, is it Hamid or Harminder from a couple of years ago?
Was it a couple of years ago? I thought he was a member maybe many years ago, probably 7, 8 years.
Yeah, quite a while back, but it would be great to invite him back to the club, actually, guys.
I think he attended the club meeting once. I remember, tall, bearded guy, right? He very strong voice. So he attended one of the meetings in the church 2 to 3 years ago. But we can find him out.
Well, the reason why I ask is, I might have got the name wrong, but I'm sure that there was a member of our club, and he appeared in he might have been a student at Royal Holloway at the time. And if he was, his photograph has appeared in a Freemasons magazine. But I didn't keep the picture because I was going to cut it out and just show it and see whether or not it was the same person who used to visit or be a member of our club.
Sorry, what's Freemasons magazine? I'm not aware
It's
of.
for Freemasons. It's an internal magazine for Freemasons. And I think he's a Freemason.
When you say Freemason, I mean like Mason.
Yes.
Somebody who works on buildings. Okay.
Oh no, nothing to do with building sites. No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, so you've not heard of Freemasonry?
No, sorry, no, I don't know what Freemasonry is. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
Secret handshakes, Tanuj.
Sorry.
Secret handshakes.
Oh, okay. Oh, like that. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure it was him, but yeah, didn't keep the picture.
I could probably find you a picture of him, Simon.
If you could, then I can sort of say, yes, that
Yeah.
was him, or no, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But he was there in his regalia.
Harminder Dillon.
Might be.
I just shared you guys a picture on the WhatsApp.
Yes, Sam would know because I think Sam was a member at that time. So
Has it come through? I sent you the picture on WhatsApp.
yes, Sam, it has come through.
Before my time.
So who? Sorry, guys, I was distracted. Who did you say has gone off to form a new club?
Amit.
Oh, is he?
But he
Okay.
hasn't left us. Let's be clear. He's not leaving us. He just might not be able to take on a committee role. That's all.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. Gosh, good for him.
This is him, Simon,
Have you got a picture?
on the WhatsApp.
Oh, right. Okay. So look, hasn't come through to me yet.
Hey, I think Linda, we are at time now.
We start. Yes, it felt like a long break, but everybody back. See everybody again. Good. I did want to start this half on a serious note because I heard some of the conversations, and Sumit was talking about Indian customs, and I wanted to say we know how difficult things are in India, and that a lot of people here have connections there, and that we are thinking of you with love and sympathy. It is a very difficult time. So I wanted to express that on behalf of everybody.
Thanks a lot, Linda.
So moving into the second half. In the first half, we had 4 prepared speeches, and now we're going to have 4 evaluations of those prepared speeches. Are the 4 evaluators all ready and rearing to go with their evaluations? Good. So our first speech this evening was by Flora, and it was about trying something new. And Flora's speech is going to be evaluated by Tanuj. So ladies and gentlemen, to evaluate Flora's speech, please welcome Tanuj.
Thank you, Linda. Try something new. Who would have thought trying something new would not be about trying a new musical instrument or trying a new type of exercise? Instead, what Flora informed us about was a new type of dating exercise or dating regime she tried out during lockdown. I was thoroughly gripped with the journey she took us on. It started with the bit of anxiety and the nervousness, and she took us through the tunnel and showed us light at the end of the tunnel by giving us some good tips as well at the end of it all. There's one phrase that stayed with me and which I want to emphasize on, that knot in the stomach. I could literally feel that gut-wrenching feeling right now as well. And we all have witnessed that kind of nervousness in various aspects of our lives, and can completely relate to such a feeling from my younger years as well. Now, talking about her speech, there are 3 areas that I want to touch upon. Number 1 is her vocal variety. I definitely feel Flora could have done more. There were areas where she could have emphasized and tried the vocal variety to make her point in even a much more stronger way. But overall, it was a very soothing and very calming pace at which she took us on. There were appropriate pauses in it as well. Number 2 is hand gestures. This is where I want to really commend Flora. The frame she took to position herself, the amount of hand gestures we were able to visualize, I think that was spot on. It was one of the best implementation I've seen in the Zoom settings to to convey the meaning through your hand gestures as well as your entire body. The hand gestures being open, they were really bringing on the message. And if she was on mute as well, we could sense the kind of emotions she was sharing with us. As I said earlier, I was really invested in the journey, and few things that I liked about her speech, specifically from content standpoint, was that there were moments she spoke about her inner voice. So we were able to not only look at that experience from her eyes, but also from a different vantage point where she was critiquing herself and checking out if whatever steps she's making, are they right or not. So it's almost like you're standing next to Flora as she was kind of committing to that exercise of speed dating online. All in all, it's a fabulous speech. I definitely can see some room for improvement, but I think she aced it by bringing good structure, having a very strong ending, and definitely the 3 tips are gonna stay with me, and especially that knot in the stomach. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. I realized that with the swapping around, I forgot to ask the timekeeper to give us the times and to do the voting for the speaker. I think it will be fairer, though, if we finish the evaluations before we do the times and the voting for the speaker. So I'm going to continue asking the evaluators to do their evaluations, and then afterwards I'll ask Ruth to give us the timings for the speeches, and we can vote for the speech.
Linda, you've got real audio problems tonight. You've gone from being in the bottom of the pool to not. I can barely hear you.
Right, was everybody the same?
Yeah.
I haven't touched anything. Any better? Did you hear me saying I'd forgotten about the times for the speeches and the voting for the speech? We'll leave that till after all the evaluations. And while you still hear me, let's get on to the second evaluator. The second speech was Cam, telling us about her special subject matter of being a twin. And the evaluator for Cam's speech is Rupa. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rupa.
Subject matter expert. When I discovered that I was Cam's evaluator today, I was intrigued by that title. And how confidently did she come on stage and say she was an expert? That got me. She owned it. And I was like, well, I know she's a graphic designer, but hey, what else could she be an expert in? but she built up that suspense for that first 30 seconds. And when she dropped the bombshell about it being that she's a twin, I was like, well, I knew that about her, but does that make her an expert? There was fantastic signposting throughout, great structure and 3 clear points. But I'm a fan of the power of 3 in Toastmasters. And wow, was that a masterclass in the use of the power of 3 throughout that entire speech. The good, the bad, and the ugly. The use of same when it came to date of birth, addresses. The use of what her mother used to dress them both in. So throughout that entire speech, we heard repetition and the power of 3. She could have even got involved with Flora right at the beginning when she talked about the matching twins. It was almost appropriate for the speech. Who knows? Who knows? That could have been there. I loved the prop when she used the names and released the fact that they were 2 separate names. We are a very diverse audience, and some people would have found that hard to grasp. That was beautifully done. So how could she improve the speech? Watch the hand clasping. There was quite a bit of that, I felt. Right at the beginning, it didn't affect the overall speech, but the audio checks could have been done way at the beginning of this meeting, right? Without interrupting the overall speech itself. I felt the reference to Russell Peters, even though I know who he is, I didn't actually know that sketch, so it could have been elaborated on, and I'd love to see the YouTube clip of that if possible. I think she's improved on this in general, but I do feel that she did look at notes, and I think while we've been on this virtual environment, people have defaulted back to using notes when they don't necessarily need to. So lose the notes, just go for it. What could Cam do to challenge herself? I personally felt that that was the makings of a humorous speech. So I'm going to invite Cam to not only repeat that speech as part of her Pathways project, but to take it for a contest spin in the humorous speech contest this autumn. In terms of challenging us, in terms of whether or not people recognize her versus her sister, challenge accepted. I think I can do the difference now because I've worked with both of them. Fantastic speech. Loved to hear it, and I'd love to hear it again. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rupa. Our third speech was Annette talking about our colour personality, and Annette's speech is going to be evaluated by Irina. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irina.
Annette demonstrated in her speech that she could take the theory and transform them completely into a easy and very clear to follow speech about information of those 4 personality types. Therefore, I want to congratulate her for doing this brilliant job tonight. However, when you deliver this type of speech, and any informative speech in general, you want your speech to be memorable. And by memorable, I mean people want to remember things from that. They want that information to stay with them for a longer time, not just for couple of hours, maybe after the speech has been delivered. So what I want to suggest one step further for Annette to challenge for her next time is when you describe those 4 types of personality, try to associate them with something so people could easily remember instead of just describing, which you've done very easy and very clear, everyone could understand it, but give a bit of extra. Maybe try to associate yourself with one of this personality, where you sit in all of this 4. Maybe try to identify some other people within Trojans that could be some of those types. So the public can have some understanding and better association, so those personalities stay with them for a longer time. In terms of the body language, I understand she had a feedback from previous session. I think she used a lot of hand gesture. For me personally, and I know I make this comment a lot to Dave as well. In my point of view, when you're doing a lot of gesture with your hand in there and there, it's just distracting. I find it personally distracting. And what I want to see is you've had a good use of language through your speech. For example, when you said big impact, you just pointed hands, big impact. You could say a big impact or big impact. Just try to move your hands from your abdomen higher up, or try to basically change the position of your hand, because they were sitting all the time on your abdomen and just pointed to right and left and kind of circulating in a wheel motion all the time. You also, when you said zero, you could use the gesture of the zero or any other gesture that could symbolize that. That will add some extra differentiation, if that makes sense. But apart from that, I found out that you had a good and strong voice during your speech, brilliant use of language, and a strong confidence in what you delivered, which inspired me to listen more, especially with your enthusiastic delivering the speech. I found it brilliant, and I would, oh, sorry, I'm running out of time. And I would to see more speeches in this type of enthusiastic note from yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. Our fourth speech this evening was Sumit telling us about some gestures used by Indians in India. And evaluating Sumit's speech, we have Nish. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to Nish.
Please raise your hand if you thought this was a great speech. Wrong. This was a great missing chapter on India in our Lonely Planet Guide. I have heard Sumit give several speeches, and every time I think he has given us his best. And then Sumit comes back with another speech and proves us wrong. In my evaluation, I'm going to focus on two things today: body language, spoken language. Body language. He had his hand on heart and head when he began his speech. He, of course, gave us the nods, this, and then this, and then this. Then he had a clever use of thumb, index, and middle finger. He had this hand gesture with the twisting the bulb. So he got us hooked. There were lots of great signposting in his language. He stood straight, he looked at the camera, he engaged with the audience, and he showed really good body language. Now, the spoken language. Let me start with the title, Lord of the Nods. When I first heard it, I thought maybe given his background, he's going to talk about meetings or people just nodding to their managers, but no. The moment he said Indians and their head nods, I knew this was going to be amazing. But personally, I am not someone who actually, who does a head nod, nor I know anyone personally who does that. But I've heard so much about this that I've started paying attention to it. And then he says, elephant in the room, blue-blooded British. We confuse when we can't convince, which was a very clever use of words and language. And then he also gave us the story of his French teacher, how different sign languages could be misunderstood when used in different countries and cultures like Japan. And then he So these were the things that he talked about, and in fact gave us a lot of information, which is what I personally expect from any good speech. Have you been able to educate your audience or not? But overall, this was a great speech. But do I have any recommendations? Yes, just 2. I counted 8 ahams, and I thought if Sumit had practiced this in front of, say, standing in front of a mirror and then practice it a few times, I think his delivery would have come out very, very effective. But overall, this was a great speech. It made everybody laugh. And next time you see anyone with this, you know what that means. So overall, Sumit, well done and congratulations. And I look forward to listening to more speeches from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nish. And thank you all 4 speech evaluators. I'd like to invite Ruth to come back. When I should have invited her to do this at the end of the last half. I'd like to ask for the timings for the 4 speeches. And then I'll ask Tanuj to put up the voting screen so we can vote for the speech we like best. So over to Ruth.
Thank you. So first we had Flora's speech, Try Something New, and she did that in 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Then we had Cam speaking on being a twin, and she did that in 6 minutes and 23 seconds. Then we had Annette on personality colours, and she delivered that in 6 minutes and 43 seconds. And finally, we had Sumit's speech entitled Lord of the Nods, with his 3 Indian gestures, and he delivered that in 6 minutes and 44 seconds. And in terms of the evaluators, Tanuj evaluated Flora's speech.
Ruth, we'll leave the evaluators till we've had the table topics evaluation.
Oh, okay.
Sure. We just have the speeches for now. So thank you. Tanuj, could we have the voting? Thank you.
Okay, we have a clear result. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanuj. Now it's time for table topics, for something a bit different. And I'm very pleased to welcome Taye as our table topics master this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, big wave for Taye.
Thank you. Thank you. This evening is, I'm really excited tonight because I found out that Cam is a twin. What most of you don't know here is that Taye means twins. It means the senior of twins. So I'm a twin and I have a brother and we are very identical. So it's quite interesting to hear that Cam is a twin, and that really made me glad. However, coming to why I'm here, good evening, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. We don't have any guests here tonight, so well, next week we'll have one. The purpose of the table topics master is to facilitate table topics, where guests and members will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speeches or speaking. Now I will introduce a topic, but I'm not going to actually be doing a topic tonight. I'm going to be asking questions, random questions, something that I've picked out from, all those who are all the old and experienced Toastmasters here could know where my questions are coming from, but I've tried to model them up a bit. So I hope you enjoy the questions, and I hope you can work with me. So you'll be given 2 minutes to speak, and the timekeeper will be watching you. So I'm going to randomly pick because no one has indicated. So I'm going to randomly pick. So I've placed my screen where I can see everybody's faces. I can't see some people on camera, but I'm going to start picking. My first question will be going to Deal. And I picked you because you played a very special role in my integration in the Trojan Club, and you did a very good job. So for that, my good reward for you is to give you the first beautiful question of the evening. Now, my question is about leadership. And we all know that one of the reasons why we are here is to train us to become very good leaders in our various fields. So what is the number one quality that makes someone a good leader? Your time starts now.
Okay, thank you, Tay, for that question. What makes a leader exceptional? Was it one character that makes a leader exceptional? I would say there are various forms of leadership, and many people have their own ways of dealing with or leading people. However, one thing that I think, in my opinion, it's quite important when it comes to leadership is I completely forgot what I was going to say, is to take action first and be the example, basically. Be the example so that others follow you. So okay. Yeah, be the example of how you want others how you want others to act and not act, how you want others. Oh my God, I completely forgot. Thank you. I think I'm gonna just stop there. Thank you. But yeah, just be the action doer first when it comes to.
Thank you very much, Dil. You said it all. Being a good example of what you preach or an example of what you want to reflect in others. So that's a good one. Thank you for answering it very well. My second question is going to Sumit. Now, I chose Sumit for this question because I see him with someone who has passion for human rights. The way he speaks, the way he gesticulates, and the kind of topic he speaks upon, it looks more like an activist. So for Sumit, my question to you is, when did you not speak up when you should have? When did you not speak up when you should have? Your time starts now.
Thanks a lot, Taye, for that great question. When should I have not spoken up? When should I have spoken up when I did not?
Yes.
Now, there have been many occasions in my life where I chose not to speak anything when I should have done something. But if I have to say the main reason when I should have spoken up was with my wife. Now, I know what you are thinking. It is not about the arranged marriages. It is not about the arranged marriages. I was not forced into an arranged marriage. So that is not what I'm coming on to. Like, there have been many occasions my wife has told me, okay, you have to do this thing. You have to give me a call when you have to, when you reach your office, give me a message, give me a call. And I used to say, okay, this is a small thing. Let me do that. Let me do that. I thought, like, now at some point of time, these all things become so big that I always think that I should have stopped this thing and nipped this in the bud many times, much time later, rather than like things when growing up so much. So now the situation is, okay, when I'm going to office, after reaching there, I have to send out a message, I've reached. When I'm leaving my office, right, these days I'm not going to office, but whenever like pre-COVID, I used to go there. And when I'm leaving my office, just before that, I have to send out a message, I'm about to leave. And when I'm coming out of the tube, I have to send out a message, okay, I'm at Shepherd's Bush now. So these are the sort of things I have to do, which I should have stopped in the bud itself, and I did not. And I still regret it to this day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Sumit. Always a great speaker, impromptu or not. You always have something good to say, and I really like your speech and the way you put it. However, I have my next question. I'm trying to keep to time, and life. There are times in our life when we have to make life-changing decisions, when we have to change a lot. And the person that this question is going to already knows. She's smiling so much, so she knows I'm looking at her. Ruth, the question goes to you, and it says, what's a quick decision you made once, that changed your life? What's a quick decision you made once that changed your life? Your time starts now.
Sorry, was that what quick decision did I make?
Yes,
or-
you once made that changed your life. What quick decisions you once made that changed your life?
Okay, so a quick decision. Yeah, I am actually one of these impulse people. I've made a number of impulse decisions in my life that have changed the course of my life. Probably the earliest decision I made, I can think of, when I left school. So within 2 weeks of finishing school, I made a decision that I was going to go and live in Spain. And one of the reasons was because I used to listen to the girls in the sixth form common room discussing their foreign travels. And I was studying Spanish, and I'd actually never been abroad. Our family always went to Scotland on holiday. So I got a job in McDonald's. I saved up some money, bought myself a ticket, went out to Spain, worked as an au pair initially, then got a job teaching English in a school using little sock puppets to say, what's your name? And my name's this. And that carried on for a couple of years. I joined the university out there, and then eventually came back home and thought, perhaps I should get a degree. So impulse decisions that changed the course of my life, that was one of them, and it did so for 4 years, and I never regret it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ruth. It's like you were expecting that question from me because you handled it so beautiful well. So thank you so much. Roshin again. This question is going to someone that is very confident in this club. I noticed right from the day I joined, he's always composed, confident, and I kind of like that about him. The question is going to David. And
hang on, sorry, I'm the evaluator.
Oh, sorry. Okay, the evaluator. So okay, sorry. So I'm going to.
Can I butt in, Ty? This needs to be the last question, where it's nearly 9:25. So, fourth and final question.
Fourth, okay. So
for the lucky person. Yeah.
Okay, let me look for someone that is versatile and that I have enjoyed a speech before. Good. I'm giving this to Sam T, and it says, if you could live forever, would you want to, and why? If you could live forever, would you want to, and why? Your time starts now.
Thank you, Master topics master for the Trojans. I would not want to live forever. The reason being is even at the age that I am now, on a daily basis, I am feeling more and more joint pains and being very much aware of my age. So I can't imagine what it would be like in another 10 years, much less another 30 or 40 years. And also, I don't want to outlive all my loved ones. Just think about it. You get older, if you don't die and all your relatives die off, you'll be left alone. So for that very reason, I don't want to get old and decrepit and then keep living with no quality of life. I don't want to get more and more symptoms that I have already. And I certainly don't want to outlive my nearest and dearest. So no, I would not like to live forever. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. I think I'm done with the evening. I hand over back to the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Taiwe, for some very interesting table topics. I'd now like to ask Ruth, the timekeeper, to tell us the times of the topics, and take note because we'll be voting for the best table topic speech. So this is our opportunity to be reminded of the names.
Is this the evaluations as well, or just table topics?
This is the table topics. We haven't had the table topics evaluation yet. So this is just the table topics, the 4 table topics, yeah.
Thank you. So first we heard from Dil in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then we heard from Sumit in 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Then we heard from myself, and I think Rupa has a time.
1:15.
Thank you. And finally, we heard from Sam, and Sam spoke for 57 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth and Rupa. A brilliant combined effort. You're together on my screen as well, so you just look like you've it all wrapped up. Could I now ask Tanuj, thank you, Tanuj, we can now vote for what we consider to be the best table topic.
Okay, we have a clear winner. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. So it's now time for our 5th and final evaluation of the evening. And we've got David back to evaluate the table topics. A word to the timekeeper. Usually it's something like 5, 6, 7, but because we only had 4 table topics, I think 2, 3, 4 would be substantial for a person of David's caliber. So let me welcome our table topics evaluator for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, David Horn.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Thank you, Topics Master. Thank you, Topics participants, and well done, everyone. I decided to do something a little different tonight, picking up from something that I know Simon does from time to time on the table topics, and that was that I actually counted the ums and ahs. And I have to say it came out better than I was expecting. So we had 4 speakers plus our table topics master, and between them all, I counted 31 ums and ahs, which averages out at about 6 each, 7 and a bit each if you're not counting the table topics master. Although I did hear Taye throw in the occasional or ah, so I'm counting it across the 5. Turning to the individual speeches, they were all very well presented. They were all interesting and intriguing topics, starting with Dil, whose subject was what was the #1 quality that makes someone a good leader. And Dil looked at the various forms of leadership and how people have their own different approaches to leadership. She spoke confidently. She talked about the importance of taking action and being the example. towards the end of her speech, Dill kind of lost the trail, and that's okay in a table topics thing. I think actually that Dill handled it very well, because in table topics, you're in complete control of what you say. And Dill realized that she'd lost her trail and simply cut the speech short. In a prepared speech, that would have been a disaster, but in topics, I actually thought it was quite a clever way and a different and new way to end a speech. So well done, Dill. Moving on to Sumit. When did you not speak up when you should have done? And Sumit, again, his sense of humor, and for those of us who've been in the club for a little bit longer and know Sumit's wife, Jaspreet, we can just imagine her, just cracking the whip, and no, you've got to text me when you leave the office and when you come above ground and when you get out of the tube. And it was just, I was there almost in the room laughing and enjoying that. And I hope we'll see Jaspreet's smiling face at some stage before we leave this evening, but that was a very well done. And then we move on to Ruth, a quick decision that you made that changed your life. And Ruth took a moment to think. And again, for those of you who are new to table topics, you're perfectly entitled to take a moment to think. And in fact, when you're in the competitive situation, you're actually allowed to stop and think. And it's not until you start to show either movement or words that the clock begins to count. So you can take that time to think. And it worked very well, because Ruth then came up with a very clear story of the time when she left school and decided to move to Spain and became a teacher and used sock puppets, and told us that she ended up living out there for 4 years and had no regrets. And I know that that's just one of the things that Ruth has done internationally within her life and things. And so that was a great example. And finally, Sam, if you could live forever, would you want to, and why? And Sam had a very clear answer. No, she would not. And she talked about personal situations. I mean, Sam's a youngster, but she's clearly got some issues with joints and things going wrong. And I worry because Sam's an orthopedic surgeon as well. And so she should be able to figure out what's going on. But clearly that whole issue of aging and in particular, members of your family dying and seeing that and that challenge of the perspective of would you want to live forever? And I think it's an interesting one, because a lot of young people think they would want to live forever. And then as we grow older, we have differing views on that. My only critique to Sam would be she didn't quite make it to the first minute. And it's important in table topics that you make it to that green light and finish on at least 1 minute. You can talk about anything you want. And that is the end. And before I start to fill the space with ums and ahs, I will say good evening and hand you back to our Toastmaster, Linda.
Thank you, David, for your evaluation of our table topics. Now going to give Ruth the opportunity to do what she wanted to do earlier. It's time now for giving us the times for the 5 evaluations that we've had this evening. Over to Ruth.
Thank you, Linda. So Tanuj told us about Flora's speech, and he did that in 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Rupa evaluated Cam's speech, and she did that in 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Irina evaluated Annette's speech, and she did that in 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Nishta evaluated Sumit's speech, and she did that in 3 minutes and 1 second. And David evaluated our table topics for this evening, and he did that in 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. I'd now ask Tanuj to put up the names of the evaluators for voting. Thank you, Tanuj.
Okay, we have a clear winner. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuj. I think my job is almost over. I just want to thank everyone for coming along this evening, for making it an empowering, an experiential, an inspirational, and an amazing evening. I'm now going to hand back to our president, the talented, terrific Tanuj, to give us the final part of the meeting. Over to Tanuj.
Thank you, Linda. What a fabulous job for a special evening. And I really, really commend you for thinking on your feet, especially how you pulled back on the time available for David's speech, considering he was evaluating only a few people. So take notes, everybody. This is how it's done. I have two things to call out. Number one is, as you all witnessed, we still have two vacancies for roles to fill up. The role of treasury and the role of president. So if you know somebody who's not here tonight and you think would be a good fit, or if you look at the mirror tomorrow morning or tonight and you think, you know what, I can do that. So do let us know, because we would be closing that decision by end of next month. That's number one. Number two is, we obviously have been on a journey through the help of our great VP, Amit, who's not here tonight. We've booked a lot of speeches for future dates. Please make sure you are paying attention to how you're progressing on your individual paths. Go ahead and book the next 2 to 3 meetings. You can always slide them on if you want to reschedule. Go ahead and book your speeches. I think it'll give you a good target to chase. And lastly, and most importantly, who were the winners for our different speeches tonight? So starting with table topics. Drum roll, unmute yourself, cheer on, and it is, oh, Jaspreet. So it is Sumit, and I think, yeah, Sumit, you should get that consolation prize now. The next is the evaluations. So we had some fabulous evaluations for some great speeches tonight. And the best evaluator is Nishtha. Congratulations, Nishtha. And on to the big one, the best speech tonight. It was, drum roll, Sumit again. Congratulations, Sumit. Good job, everybody, and thank you so much for coming along, not just for being part of the elections process, but also for tonight. And congratulations to the new committee. I almost forgot. The new club officers, you are starting a great chapter for Trojans. I am very, very excited for you in whichever shape or form I am contributing. I would be your immediate past president, but at the same time, as a member, I'm very excited because you would be the committee that would take us back to the church. Sounds very religious, but you know what I mean. So go back to whatever you want to do now, but feel proud that you are going to be contributing to this club in a very positive way. And we are here for you as club members, as you have stepped forward for the club. So thank you so much, and really appreciate what's coming ahead of us. So thank you. Good night. Stay safe. Take care.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Outstanding meeting, by the way.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you for coming along.
Yeah, and loved it. Thank you.
Cool. I think everybody's signing out. Great job, Tahir. Really loved your topics. You should do this frequently. I would suggest, of course, you do other roles as well, but you did a fabulous job. It's a shame we had less time for witnessing such good topics you chose. And it didn't feel like it was your first time. I don't think it was your first time, was it? No, it was not, right?
No, it was my first time, table topics.
Yeah, you did really well.
Thank you.
Maybe you should give a speech about being a twin.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would be good.
No, when Cam was speaking, I really laughed. Almost, I was just controlling myself not to laugh. I'm not allowed to do that openly here, but I could feel everything she was saying, being a twin, sharing, having to sleep in the same room. Then when she talked about the idea of being worried for for your other twin. And that was the same thing that happened when we were in secondary school. We were about to move to we're about to graduate, and we took our university exam. I schooled in Nigeria, so the system is a little bit almost like British in the UK, because the UK colonized Nigeria, so we have almost the same similar systems. So when we did our exams to go to the university, I was holding my heart, not for myself, hoping that if my twin brother makes it, I make it, or if I make it, he makes it. And when we both got our results, when we got home, my dad was sitting in the dining table. He was having lunch, and then we stood in front of him. Because my dad was this kind of old British disciplinarian, very, 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 how do you put it? Very, you don't just come and talk to him. You have to stand. I mean, you stand right as if you're in the army. You talk. You know what I mean? So my dad was often in the UK and in Scotland. So in London and Scotland. So it learned so many things from his ways of life. Was really like more of the British people, to the way he speaks, the way he listens, and so I stood before him very respectfully. I allowed my twin brother to go first because he's the junior one. So we're just 15 minutes apart. I was born 11 p.m. on a Friday night. He was born 11:15 p.m. So 15 minutes. So I'm the senior. So I gave him the floor. He read his result to my dad. My dad didn't make any emotion. He didn't say. He didn't show any emotion. He kept eating. He was waiting for mine. The moment I started with my result and I finished and everything was okay, my dad dropped the spoon and said, yes, So for twins, it's really special moments that you share with your family, with yourselves. And I and my twin brother, we talk every day. Notice that he's not in the UK, but we talk every day. We speak on phone, we share our plans. He encourages me. When I'm feeling down, I speak to him. When he's feeling down, he speaks to me. So somehow the advantage of being a twin is that you have somebody to really share your thoughts with, and without boundaries. And you are sure your secret is safe, because you will do anything to keep your twin safe, regardless of whatever that twin does. So having a twin on earth is actually a blessing, because you really have someone who's got your back after God. After God is got your back.
So I'm gonna double down on that and be opportunistic to say that there is not one, at least 3 speeches I heard in there. So really, really good story to hear, and I would love to learn more about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, Simon, you were saying something. You're on mute, Simon.
You're on mute still. You're still on mute.
That's better.
Yeah.
Modern technology. Give me a pen and paper. I'm away. No, it was good to hear his questions. I think they're sharp, perceptive, but also they gave people scope to play with. So I think, yeah, very, very clever questions. And I think, Tay, you should consider doing table topics master more frequently. I think you've got a whole arsenal of questions which you can attack us with.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
About making a decision and whether it affected your life is, I think, amazing. And I think everyone can pretty much answer that question. Look back at their life and see that moment for themselves. It's a very reflective question.
Yeah. It was a good question, actually. Yeah, and there are more than one, right? But yeah, you got to start somewhere. So.
And then, Ruth, it was as if you knew my question, and as if you knew it was going to go to you, because right before I already put you down on my list for that question, and when I looked at that it was your turn, you were just smiling and laughing, and it was as if there was this telepathic communication, as if you could read my mind and you knew exactly what was coming, and you answered it pretty well. And I was
I was just wondering who was going to time because I was the timer, but then I saw Rupa had it, so that was fine. Yeah.
Indeed.
It was a good question. So Simon, how about the presidency role?
As I've been saying to Tanush, I'm conflicted, and although part of me says yes, more of me says not at the moment, because my greatest concern is A, over-promising and under-delivering, and B, the last thing you want to do is to leave the club in a poor position. I mean, Tanush has been a phenomenal president. He may not have realized it himself this year because he's worked very hard, but you know, I've felt highly privileged and honored to have worked under him. He's a thoroughly decent chap. He listens to people. He's prepared to hear your thoughts. Whether or not he agrees with them, that's fine. I mean, that's a different matter. But yeah, I mean, I feel, although I was initially hacked off being press ganged in to be Sergeant at Arms, I got to, not so much the role of Sergeant at Arms, but I got to enjoy being with the committee and trying to be the voice of people in the club and trying to put their views forward. And I felt honored to be able to do that, even though lots of times it's just my own views, masked as other people's views. But no, I think Tanush needs a good, strong president. And in all honesty, I'm erring towards having a female to be president. I think we would do well. We've had two males. Before that we had Rupa, but I think it's time certainly for a female to inject some fresh ideas, housekeeping, common sense, and feminine qualities into the committee. Certainly.
So Simon, I'm going to quickly come back with two things. So first
Yes.
of all, thank you for your kind words. Secondly, I don't think I don't have a shadow of doubt that with regards to bringing strength to the club or leaving the club in a better place, no, anybody has got the kind of, the breadth of ideas and the kind of knowledge that you bring to the table. So, and I've, again, just to pay it back to in your currency, I really, really appreciated your participation in the committee as well. So that's one of the reasons I approached you, and you would bring that, I think, that level-headed approach. I went really gung-ho on a lot of ideas and probably shot my foot in a lot of places. But hey, I'm a better person now. But important thing is that, yeah, I mean, male or female, I don't think it matters as much. I think we come in as individuals here. And we've got good balance overall. It's not like, there is any kind of bias going on. But important thing is that we need somebody who understands the club, who understands the pulse of the club. And at the moment, I mean, I made a similar speech in front of Ruth a few days ago, but unfortunately, not everybody is around now. So I keeping everybody alibi here, I can say that you definitely would fit the bill very, very well. And you would definitely be able to bring that calmness and the charm which you have, which we love, to the role.
You'd be surprised because with this speech tonight by Annette, I'm actually very much a blue person.
So am I. So, I mean,
very much.
Sorry, Ty, I cut you off that time. Yeah, please.
Can I say this? So Tanuj, I wanted to agree with you on this because first I want to thank you, Tanuj, for your. Can you hear me? Am I okay?
Yes.
I wanted to thank you for your tenacity, your will. You are truly a good president. I'll tell you why. When you started reaching out to me to take a role, I'm not usually a nervous person, but I just felt that I'm in the midst of a lot of bright intellectuals, people that I really, really respect. I belong to two clubs, the London Business School and the Trojan Club. So I've met, in this process, I've met quite interesting, great people, fantastic people, even though on Zoom. But you've left great impressions in me. So I didn't want to take up a role and, like Simon just said, inadequately represent that role. And I felt I should still stay another year to learn more before taking a role. But however, there's a spirit of leadership in us. I've done my icebreaker speech in LSB. I'm scheduled for next week, Tuesday, for my second speech. And my second speech is about the mastery of leadership. It's a leadership, I'm going on the leadership series. And one of the things I want to tell people is that there is a hidden leader potential in us, and you need to be courageous enough. So that's what they call the spirit of courage. And that is what I want to bring to that topic, the spirit of courage, the courage to look within yourself and nest the ability and what God has given you and bring it out. And at times it may not always come out right the first time, but if you continue and you push well, you will achieve it. And that's what I want to say. That's why I come to you, Simon. I've watched you. I'm a good, I have these good skills or gift from God of psychology to be able to read people. From the moment, from the way you speak, your demeanor, and the way you process your thoughts, and the way you process your word, and the way you speak so clearly, not fast like me, I think giving a good shot to the presidency will be really good. Why? I'll tell you one. You've got the qualities of a president, and whatever is discouraging you is what actually should propel you, because there is the spirit of leadership in you, and you really want that to be discovered. Miles Monroe says, and I read in his book, the spirit of a leader, that the grave is full of great ideas, dead and buried. So you may never know the opportunity to do something and make an impact in a place like this may never come again. So I think with all the honest reasons you've given, I really want to encourage you that you should give it a second thought, that this may be something you should do. And I know that Tanuj will be with you to also probably encourage you and also guide you in a way. But however it happens, I can tell you from day one, you will do well. Thank you.
Thank you. Tanuj, ask me in a fortnight's time.
Okay.
I may have changed my mind.
Sure. Yeah. I should have had you as my wingman every time I was making a pitch to anyone. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. I feel inspired.
Good at making pitches. I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what, Simon, I was actually touched emotionally by what you said about being part of the committee and how that has impacted on you, and the gratitude to Tanuj as well. But yeah, because that's what I've found in Toastmasters as well. It is the teams that you work with and the people that you meet that are absolutely phenomenal. And I have never worked with such nice people in so many teams that are so supportive. And yeah, it's just, that is transformational. It's all about the teams.
Yeah, because you can learn these skills on your own as well. I mean, if you really work hard. So absolutely. Sorry, Nish, I think you've been meaning to say something.
Yeah, just one small thing before I log off. So today when I put my name forward for the VPPR, and then everybody unanimously, I mean, there are hardly any people to even stand for the positions who would have opposed me. But I think in that moment, I realized something, and I realized that I am a whole 1 year late in putting my name forward. And you know why? Because I think I would have absolutely loved this position with Tanuj as my captain. And I have taken a year to say yes to a role. And Tanuj is going. So I suddenly had this great pang of regret that I am late by a whole year. I should have been with this captain on this ship.
So good news, Nish, is that number one, you should not feel that regret, because everybody in the committee generally has equal say. Yes, you might be executing your own tasks separately. So I would be around. formally as well as informally, I would be around to guide and nudge and poke you all. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's never too late.
I would have loved working with you as my captain. Aye, captain.
No, it's
Well, he's going to be the immediate past president, and it's an official role, and it does oversee the committee. And if he chooses, he can still attend committee meetings. He's there to help the team in a different, more kind of remote position, but yeah.
Maybe we can together convince Simon to take up the mantle.
I think Simon is almost there. It's just that he doesn't want to commit to anything this late in the day. So
One more push.
I can see a yes, kind of lingering around, but yeah, we'll connect. I mean, we still have time.
Yeah,
Good thing is,
you do need a quorum as well for
correct.
the remaining 2 rows. So
Okay.
Great. I'll have to go now. Thank you very much, everybody. It was a great
Likewise.
time. I love the
Good night.
Thank you very much.
congratulations, Nishta. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you know that Raki Jain will be the area director next year from Riverside. Do you know Raki?
Yeah.
Okay. So you will be working with her as well. She will be visiting the club from time to time. And if you have any queries, as well as going to Tanuj, your immediate past president, and whoever decides to be your existing president, you will also have Raki to guide you as well. So all in good hands. Yeah.
Great. That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah. Fabulous meeting tonight. Really.
Thank you, Ruth.
Very
And-
well run. And
and thank you for-
congratulations on finishing filling the roles you have. And I'm still excited to hear who fills the remaining 2.
Yeah. Simon would tell us soon.
Bye.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.
Evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.